where I first received you. Yeah. Take me back, dear Lord, where I first be. Ooh, say, take me back. Oh, take me back, dear Lord, to the place, yeah, where I first received. Where I first, oh, take me back, Jesus, take me back, dear Lord, where I first. One more time, sing it out of your home. Take me back, yeah, take me back, dear Lord, to the place, oh, where I first received. Yeah, take me back. Only you can make me, Lord. Take me back, dear Lord, where I first believed. Oh, sing it again, where I first believed. Oh, where I first believed. Nothing else, nothing else, oh, nothing else will do. 'Cause I just want you. Nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. And I can't help but scream about the way that you moved in. Chaotic has made so I can live again. Sing that again. And I can't help but scream about the way that you move. It's been your chaotic love. Chaotic love has messed me up, so I can live again. 'Cause you're the one that really matters. Yeah. 'Cause you're the one that really matters. That's what we declare today. You're the one that really matters. You're the one, Lord. You're the one that really matters. Nothing else matters but you, Lord. Nothing. You're the one that really matters. You're the one, Lord. You're the one that really matters. You hold the most value, and you're the one that really matters. You're the one that really matters. Because you matter, we say nothing, nothing else, nothing else, nothing else will do. You're the only one that matters. We sing nothing, nothing else, nothing else, yeah, nothing else will do.
That feels so good. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Think about the next 10 years. Some of you, especially those of you in your 20s and your 30s, I'd even say think about the next 20, 30 years. But me, I can't go too far out. Think about where you want to be in the next 10 years. The next 10 years. I'll be 54. Next 20 years, I'll be 64. Shoot. Next 30 years, I'll be 74. The Lord say the same. If the Lord graces me with life, if the Lord bless you with life, where you want to be. So now here's the question though. With the image of where you want to be, do you have the prayer life today that'll get you there? Do you have the prayer life today that'll get you there? And will it have any eternal significance, or will it matter? This is what I mean. Are you praying in a way that helps you walk in the vision that you want to see yourself at living 10 years from now? And the opposite of that, are you worrying in a way today about things that won't even matter 10 years from now? So the two questions on the table, are you praying in a way, or are you worrying in a way? Like the thing that you're most anxious about right now, the thing that you're worrying about right now, will it even matter 10 years from now? I think we're worrying in the way when we should be praying in the way. Praying in the way of where we want to be 10 years from now, and worrying in a way knowing that tomorrow has its cares of its own. See, I think we're worried and sitting in things that won't matter 10 years from now. But how you pray today will shape significantly how you live, and watch this, how you believe 10 years from now. I got a vision for myself, for 30 years from now. I'll be 74, Lord willing. Let's jump on up. Let's jump 40 years from now. I'll be 84, Lord willing. I want to be on a front porch, a wraparound porch. Y'all know a wraparound porch. I want to be on a wraparound porch. I want it to have the hospitality and the cultural ethos of Mississippi, but without the mosquitoes, bugs, and humidity. So that means it's probably going to be somewhere in San Diego. But I imagine I'm in a rocking chair on a wraparound porch, sipping sweet tea. Grandkids just left. They gone now. They gone. They didn't went back to their mama and daddy's house. And I'm just sitting out there on the porch, rocking in a chair. And as I imagine who I want to be in that moment, I imagine the camera lens zooming up to my face and sipping sweet tea, sitting in that rocking chair after walking with the Lord, living for 84 years. Here's what I want my testimony to be. I still believe. I still believe. Because I'd imagine in that season of my life, there aren't going to be a lot of things that matter. I ain't going to care about what people think about me. Because by 84, I would have realized and discovered they was never thinking about me to begin with. Folks be worried about what people think about you. The 20s and the 30s are consumed with that. When you turn 40, then you stop caring about what people think. But I believe something happens around 60, 70, 80. I read something this morning that says you discover they wasn't even thinking about you at all. They wasn't even thinking about you. Just like, yeah, they wasn't even thinking about you. They wasn't even thinking about you. That's good. Lenora Flint says, I'm 76 years old and I still believe. So good. I think that's what I'm reaching for. I still believe. And watch this. And if that's what I'm reaching for, what's important for me to know is that's what Satan is fighting against. If that's what I'm reaching for, that's what Satan is fighting against. And as we talk about permission to grieve this week, as we talk about permission to go through hard times, I want to make sure that I give you the vision so that you can have permission to believe. I love that, Chastity. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. It's true. People, ain't nobody studying you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Ain't nobody thinking about you. Rosalie Mills said, I'm 74 and I still believe. Come on, Sheila. I'm 72 and I still believe. I think it's about your belief. It's about your belief. And watch this, because this is going to mess some of y'all up. It ain't about believing God for what you can get, but it's believing God for who you can be. Did y'all hear what I just said? It ain't just about believing God for what you can get. It's okay to believe God for things, but you learn it's so much bigger. It's so much bigger. It's believing God for who you can be. Because remember, at 84, sitting on that porch, I could have all the cool toys and material things in the world. That's gonna matter less and less. It has diminishing returns. And Satan is after your belief. My mom, I'm 73. My mama 73. She says, and believe more. So when you're grieving and when you're going through changes, watch this. Satan will attack Jairus' daughter. Satan will attack the man's son that's possessed with a demon. Satan will attack stuff around you. He'll attack your finances. But what you need to know is while you interceding and praying for that car, that house, or more money, and while you feeling bad because you lost that job or you can't afford this or you can't get this, you need to know what Satan is after is your belief. Because if over time, if he can chisel away your belief, he knows that you will never become who you've been called to be. You can get a new car and still miss being who God called you to be. You can get a fresh house with a fresh mortgage and still not be who God's called you to be. Sometimes I believe we've trained the church to believe for things, but not to believe for being. And you know how to name it and say it and believe it, but can you believe for you to be who God's called you to be? Can you believe for a deep introspection that helps you see the deeper things that God is calling you to? What if that last job where you rebuked the devil against your finances, what if he wasn't even after your finances? He was just after your belief in God to provide. I think coming out of permission to grieve, and giving you permission to grieve, I need to give you permission to believe, and watch how God builds your faith. Watch how God builds your belief. He says it in Exodus 16. We don't have this passage highlighted, but it's in there. He talks about in Exodus 16. He talks about how I'm going to build your faith by providing for you daily, and this will test your obedience. It'll help build your obedience, your belief in me, because your obedience comes from your belief. You ain't gonna be obedient to nothing you don't believe in. He says, I'm gonna give you manna in the morning and meat at night. He says, I'm gonna give you, watch this, here's the word, daily bread. And your belief is built in your ability to take today and lean in today and trust me for tomorrow. Receive the bread for today and trust me for tomorrow. Some of you are already caught up in next week. You're already wrestling and worried about what's going to happen next. Your life is consumed with that. He says, here's how you build your muscles, your faith muscles. Here's how you build your belief. I'm going to give you bread today. Receive it and trust me. Receive it and trust me for tomorrow. Trust me for the bread tomorrow. In back in the 90s is a famous saying, Bill Clinton, his strategy and helped him win the election, trying to figure out what the problem is with America. And he finally says this famous line, it's the economy, stupid. It's like the most obvious thing. What I feel like the Lord is saying is it's your belief, beloved, because he wouldn't call you stupid. It's your belief, beloved. Not just the belief of what you can have, but the belief of who you can be. Not just the belief of what I'm going to give you, but the belief of how he's going to grow you. I still believe that he can do exceedingly and abundantly above all that I could ask or think, according to the power that's at work in me. I still believe. If we would muster up our faith to believe in who God's calling us and making us and grooming us to be, y'all, we would be changing the world. So as you look at your future self, as you look at the next season, maybe let's make the number one prayer. Lord, help me believe more. I believe, but Lord, help me believe more. Maybe our faith needs to grow. Not a faith for what we can have, but a faith for who we can be. Because if we do that, y'all, we will be changing the world. I'll see y'all tomorrow.